Hey everyone, time for that weekly update video. We'll be going over the markets and coins of interest, but before I do that, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that these videos are basically for educational purposes only. Any plays that I take are going to be given in the Discord. If it's not in there, I'm not taking it. If you decide to take any of my plays based on these videos, the risk and the responsibility lies on yourself. All right, I've been turning my DMs off regarding stuff like that. So just so you know, anything that you guys take from the videos outside of the Discord is based on you. Outside of that, I've been getting a lot of DMs about my course. This is the last course that I'm opening, the last cohort. Instructions or more details are in the description below. I'm just going to jump right into it. So we're going to go over Bitcoin, but the first thing I want to address is XRP really quickly. All right, so XRP is actually taking over at this current moment the liquidity in the market. All right, let me show. Let's go to the spot chart really quickly. So as we can see, and XRP is a coin that I will never personally trade. I don't care about this rise up. Good for the holders, good for the community. I don't care about this coin, so I will never give a call on this coin. But as we see here, every single time we have a move up followed by consolidation of some type of bull flag, right? Another move up, again, another flag, right? More like a descending channel here. We have another flag here. Okay, and then same thing happened here, right? Move up, consolidation, and another flag. So when does this stop? Well, let's zoom out really quickly. And this is not, again, a coin that I'm going to give a call on, but I just want you guys to see when a coin as this is not the oldest chart. One sec. Still not the oldest chart. I think Coinbase. That's Tether. All right. Well, I can tell you it's not in price discovery because $3 was the top at one point. Whatever. Again, not a coin that I'm going to be trading, so I'm not going to be going over it really quickly, but huge impulse move up. It's because this coin has been in such a long accumulation before that move up. Like we can even see it here. And I mentioned this in previous videos with other coins. When you have a long accumulation base, the breakout is going to be insane. Now, this also had the FA news with, Gary Gensler stepping down, resigning, a pro-crypto cabinet, so on and so forth. But this is taking all the liquidity at this current moment from the market. All right. When this comes back down, profits should flow from XRP into other coins. Now, if you guys are really interested in getting into this garbage, I would go to a lower time frame and look for areas of consolidation if we have a deep corrective move on XRP. The main point where I would be looking to get in, well, not me, but you guys should be looking to get in, would be this area here from $1.57 down to $1.30. All right. Now, lower time frame, that area is going to be this consolidation zone here, this demand zone, which is from $1.95-ish or $1.96-ish down to $1.85. This would be an area where you would look for that pullback if it were to give on a lower time frame, and look for anywhere between 3 to 5%, 4% moves from this demand zone here. This is going to be your swing long trade, come back down, but again, it's holding the trend, it's in an uptrend, hasn't lost it, and this is your play. You're going to play that setup until it completely gives, right? No reason in shorting strength. This is the strongest coin in the market at this current time. Okay. Now let's go to Bitcoin really quickly. And we are going to have a big move coming within either this week or the coming weeks. All right. Now, we have an ascending broadening wedge here, right? Targets are respecting the trend lines, but I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to go over Bitcoin volatility really quickly. Okay. This is something that I teach exclusively, for my students. And this is the volatility index on Bitcoin. Okay, whenever we are here in this blue box, we will have a big move. Now, we just reached that box yesterday, so I'm expecting a big move in the market for Bitcoin within the next 48 to 72 hours, 2 to 3 days. All right, that move is indecisive. I have no idea which way we are going to go, but whenever we reach this box, we will have a big move coming. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, one can argue that this is putting in another lower high, right? If this is our higher high and we broke, if we broke structure, right? If this is your last higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, and we fail to break it, okay? One can argue that this is your next lower high. Now, okay, we're looking at this trend line here. Right? This trend line extended. All right. So far, upholding this has been good, right? There's no reason to short as long as this trend line is held. Now, yes, we can go on a higher time frame and draw a bigger trend line, so we can talk about this trend line here, right? But we're not going to focus on those high time frame levels until current levels are lost. These are our current levels, all right? So when do we start to look for levels below here? And just, I'm going to change this color really quickly to blue because I want to point out the fact that we have our lows here at 85, okay? And then we have our highs here at 99, okay? This is not a current range, right? Because we've only had the range highs, but then the range lows have been untested. So we haven't had a proper bounce from these levels. However, we've had proper bounces from this previous high at 92, right? Bounced again from the trend line, and this is what we're dealing with. So where are we looking for bounces? The first area will come at this trend line. If this trend line holds, right, wherever the trend line bounce is, stops are usually going to be here, and you're targeting the new all-time high for Bitcoin, all right? Is there any confluence from that area? Well, let's take a look. If we take the swing low to the swing high, we have confluence of the trend line, which is, this will go higher and higher as the 4-hour continues. So if I were looking for areas to, get some exposure or long Bitcoin, this would be the one area to do so. And that is the golden pocket along with the 786 reversal as the DCA. Stops probably around 91 and target new all-time highs around 101K, right? Going to a lower time frame, we see that we have some type of small demand zone here. Okay, it was resistance. We broke out, flipped it to support. Then we had a little deviation, broke out. So not only is it an SR point as well, perfect entry, but you have a lot of confluences for a bounce around 93.9 to 94K. All right. Now on a higher time frame, okay, I plotted out this range low level. If we get a dip into 88 to 85K, you buy. All right? You don't think about it, you buy. Okay? Because at that point, from this current low, it's about a 12% retracement. All right? Anywhere from 88 to anywhere, honestly, 88 to 73K is a buy. All right? Everyone's talking about this final shakeout, so on and so forth. But realistically, the market has been completely different to previous cycles, right? Institutional interest and so on and so forth, and ETFs have caused this to be different. And I've spoken about having shallow pullbacks. Everyone's waiting for deep pullbacks, but in reality, like I mentioned before, you won't be able to time any single bottom and every single bottom. You have to buy and slowly dollar cost average and don't worry about the price. Going back to XRP, for example, if we were here this whole entire weekend and you were waiting for a retrace to, let's say, a dollar, 75, does this 5 cent matter to you if you think the price is going to go higher? Does it matter to you? If not, why aren't you buying and slowly dollar cost averaging to where you think price will go? Okay? Don't think in absolutes. You have to be able to adapt to the environment, and that the environment that we are in has been currently shallow pullbacks. So until that fails, you buy the dip. Right? Eventually it will fail, and we will get to a point where funding rates are going to be so high, it's going to be expensive to hold long positions. So keep that in mind, but we haven't reached that point yet. So if you are taking a long scalp, this will be a good long scalp. Buy the dip into a lower, into a new all-time high. If we get a deeper retrace, anywhere from 88 to 73K was a good long-term purchase for targets above 100K. Right? Now, shorting all-time highs is risky, but I could see it, right? It's not wrong, but you would have to wait until a conditional trade is given to you. What does a conditional trade mean? It means certain criteria have to hit for a trade to be triggered. So if you are looking to short Bitcoin, if this is our range highs here, that wick, you would need price action to take out the highs, all right, see weakness, close back below the previous highs, right? Now you have confirmed that this is technically and actually your range high with resistance here. Liquidity has been taken, all the stops have been stopped, right? Price shows weakness, falls back below, closes below, and at that point and that point only, you open up a short above, and your stop is going to be above whatever wick is created. All right. Now at that point, you also have to come into consideration where you will take profit. That's going to be solely up to you. If you're happy with your profits, take it. Otherwise, you're going to pull up your charts, draw your support lines, and take profit at those support lines. All right. So that's how you play a conditional trade. You have to wait until certain criteria are met, that criteria being highs swept, close back below, showing weakness at resistance, and then you market short with your stops above whatever wick is created. Give yourself an extra $100 to $200 cushion, and you're going to target mid range or the supports, and then hopefully if we get a deeper retrace, that will be your final TP. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin on a shorter time scale. If we were to go to ETH right now, ETH is where the strength is. However, we have to be pretty cautious here, especially with a big move coming on Bitcoin in the next coming days. ETH is at critical resistance here, right? So if we take a look at the weekly time frame, right, rejection, we burst up, flipped it to support, continue running higher, again deviated back below, rejection. This $3,700 region is a actually, I'm going to extend it. $3,700 up to about 4K is a very strong area for ETH. All right. If we get pullbacks on ETH, this should be your number one focus over Bitcoin. Right. Now, like I said, we are at resistance here. Let's go to a lower time frame. Okay. We potentially have a rising wedge forming. All right. Rising wedges are bearish. Okay. Target for a rising wedge, a technical target, is taken from the top trend line to the bottom, placed at the point of breakout, wherever that, or breakdown, wherever that is, and that gives you, your technical targets. Now, if I were looking to long ETH and I have this zone here, this is where I would get into it. All right. You have a demand zone, you have your order block, you have an SR point as well. This is where I'd be looking to long ETH for that new all-time highs. Okay. The stop is very wide. Yes, you go in with a lower position or low leverage, or you play this on spot. You have no sweat because spot traders are better, in my opinion, than leverage traders. All you have to do in this fucking market is hold your coins, and you will do well instead of trying to get into a million trades all at once. So if we get a deeper pullback, this most likely front run a little bit, add an extra like $10. So around 34.75-ish is where I would get into it. Look for a move to all-time highs. Now again, this is a bearish pattern on a lower time frame. So invalidation would be, a channel break or a wedge breakout and continue to grind higher. Otherwise, this looks bearish and most likely goes down. Now, this pattern can also be observed on this recent shitcoin that I have no idea what it was, but it just came out. Okay. I shorted this personally, but look. Okay. Same rising wedge formation. Right? Now, bearish. Yes, the target immediately hit once it broke down. Okay, and then continue grinding lower. Again, random shitcoin that just came out of nowhere, deserves death, but same pattern, right? You have price grinding up, right? Price grinding up into a bearish wedge or a rising wedge, and then down. Okay, bear flag after bear flag after bear flag there. Same thing here, just be cautious. I'm just giving you each viewpoints of a bullish and bearish scenario. If this does break down, again, another conditional trade. Stop loss can't be given yet because I don't have enough data. But if it breaks down, you're looking for a rejection, close below, you mark it short, stop's going to be somewhere above, resistance or a point, so probably around there, and you're targeting this demand zone here. So very, very tight invalidation, looking for a 3R trade. Okay, but you need that conditional trade to trigger before you can short. You don't short blindly. Personally, I'm not going to short unless it's a shitcoin like OL, whatever the fuck that was. Next up, Solana. All right, Sol is losing steam to ETH. Good. Put Sol in its rightful place below the ETH holders. Obviously, it's a joke. I have a lot of Sol. I hate the community, shit community, but whatever. Now, take a look at this. All right. If we're talking about, like this on all time frames currently looks bearish. All right. You have an uptrend. Okay. This was your last, let's go to a line chart. This was your last higher low. Okay. We closed below it, invalidating the bullish structure. Now we've turned bearish on a low time frame. We have a bear flag. Let's go back to candles. Okay. We also have an ABC corrective pattern here. So if this is our last high, here's the correction. B can go anywhere till here, but if this is B, right, this is going to be our A. Sorry, C. So A, B, C, it's not done yet, or this could be done yet, and this is an A, B, C. However, B to C needs to be larger from A to B. So that's why it tells me that we're going to go a little bit lower. We do have this demand zone here. Again, in case we get a deeper pullback, okay? But even the targets for this bear flag, if you take it from, depending on where you want to take it, from the first impulse, let's take it from here, okay? There you go. So this aligns with the bear flag target. You have the corrective pattern as or the corrective wave as well. Elliott waves do not work, but I just want to put that out there. Okay, so this is your target. So if I were to long Sol, this would be the area where I would long Sol. Stops probably somewhere below 210. I take this on a spot trade and target highs. Okay, but here we even have a range formed. If I were to remove these, okay, here is our range highs. Here is our range lows. So deviation of range lows, you can play the range until it fails. Now here's the tricky part of this range. Okay, the stop loss. Stop loss I technically would put below this wick. All right. However, this wick would be into the limits of the next trade. So in order to give yourself proper risk management, tight stop around 225, entry around 229.9, you'll target the top or the range highs, TP1 mid-range, TP2 range highs. If we go to range highs, again, because it's a range, you can still take the trade. However, it's risky because if we break this, again, it's price discovery for Sol. But easy invalidation here, right? Range highs, stops above the wick, or you could wait for that conditional trade, wait for these liquidity or this stop hunt to happen, right? Run the stops, liquidity, show weakness, close back below, wait for that swing failure, and then you short with stops above the wick. All right, that's how I would play it, but it's whatever you want to do. And then you have your long down here if we get that deep retrace. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for Sol. Now, another strong coin in the market, really strong with the move up, has been Link. All right. Now, we can argue that this looks or is a rising wedge forming as well. Okay. Target for this, technical targets, would fall right in line with the play or the setup that I gave last time on this. Okay. What was that? Entry. It was a little bit higher actually last time, right? It was 1241. Yep. And then DCA would be within. Okay, another trend line here. DCA would be within here. All right. So I'm just showing you guys the technical aspects of this rising wedge. If we close below, right, this would most likely be your setup, but this is one of the strongest coins currently. Close below, reject, this would be your setup, and then target 1541 if we get that deep retrace. All right. However, we could bounce from the trend line if it were to fall, and that would be another area where you could scalp. I'm not saying we're going to get a complete deep retrace back here, but this trend line is your next area, probably around this order block here. this could be a nice scalp situation. Okay. Something like that. Maybe a tighter stop if you want, depending on where the trend line touch is, right? Because if we continue going higher, it's going to be higher. But if this continues to just drop here, this would be the area you have an order block. Then if we were to draw fibs, right, a 786 reversal point, so a good area to possibly long. Otherwise, you have your conditional trade, close below, reject, short with stops somewhere above there, right? And then obviously, the last video that I made speaking about Link, this would be your buy zone if we get it, 1541 down to 1460-ish, and then target local highs for this year, which is around $22, right? Doge. So Doge has been consolidating here, all right? Higher time frame, it looks like an ascending triangle. And an ascending triangle, let me get that for you guys. I posted this, actually Link had one perfectly. Okay, here is an ascending triangle on Link. Okay, ascending triangle, and then target. Okay, look how this played out. Right? Same thing here on Doge. Right? Price grinding higher. You have your flat resistance. Here is your rising trend line. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Breakout hasn't happened yet. We can go to a lower time frame if you want to see it. Okay. Technical targets for this. Around 55 cents. All right. Dogecoin is a coin that everyone should have in their portfolio. I do think that this goes to $1 eventually. I will not give any more price predictions after that. At that point, it doesn't really matter. But a coin that everyone should have, and this is your TA on it. Right? So as we see here, uptrend, right? Trend line should hold. So if we get another dip into the trend line, that's where you are going to buy. And if we are going to take it from this swing low to this swing high, right? Anywhere from 39.5 to 38.2 is your buy area, right? But we can argue that if this 12-hour closes, we have taken all these highs here, closed back below, it's most likely going to SFP. So buying back into this area is going to pay dividends, in my opinion. All right. As we can see, Link is about to most likely break down here. So wait for that conditional trade. You guys should be able to watch this when this happens. Okay. And the last coin that I'm currently looking at that I do think is going to do well is TIA, which I am already in. The Discord's already in as well. We've already taken profit. Okay. But look at this. Actually, let me go to a spot chart. Sorry, perp chart. So remember what I said about bases accumulating for a long time, right? XRP had that. The breakout was intense. Okay, same thing here. If we get a deep retrace, and I'm not talking about super deep, if this daily closes like this, we have a bearish engulfing candle. So any bids into previous SR point or support is a buy. Okay, so you should buy around $7.34 down to here. This is your buy zone. Okay, buy zone, and we're going to target $10. That was the second TP that I had in my trade. You have a supply zone here. Buy there, target there for, depending on your entry, about a 44% move. Okay, I like the setup. I've already trimmed profits, so I will be looking to personally compound in this region that I gave, 734 down to 659-ish, looking for a move up to $10. Right, and even if we're talking about technical targets, okay, this breakout that we had, right, should give us a much larger move up, but we're going to take it level by level, and $10 is where I'm looking to take profit first. All right, so these are the coins of interest that I'm looking at to trade this week. Anything that I will give will be shared in the channels in the Discord. Other than that, that's it for me. Have a good weekend, guys.